Welcome to Food Shrinks.
Hey, Food Shrinkies, it's Molly C here. Just my normal reminder before we start our podcast that we love you and we need your help. I mean, that's all we're trying to do on Food Shrinks is to get you to start asking for help. So if you have about 25 to 30 seconds, if you could just press subscribe wherever you're watching or listening to us. And if you have like 3 minutes, like 180 seconds, if you could rate and review our podcast and even send it to a friend, the more the merrier, we like to say. And we are just, we opened a Pandora's box. Remember, of course, we're professionals, but we didn't necessarily start this podcast as professionals. We started this podcast as recovering women, friends, and professionals. And this chatty chat about body image, it's like all you guys should come on our WhatsApp group if you want. Because our WhatsApp group's just been like, whoa,
Exploding.
like,
Yeah.
whoa. And, I don't know. I don't know if you're like this, Clarissa. Clarissa's a lot to talk about today, but I didn't know this about myself, but I'm like a very slow processor. I think it's all my trauma.
Mm.
I'm usually like, yeah,
Yeah,
like this is what I think about it. And then like a week later, I'm like, wait, I don't think about that. That's not actually what I think about it at all.
right. Right. The spur of the moment, how I talked after Molly shared and she shared so deeply, I just realized how safe I actually played it last week when I talked about my own body journey. And this whole week has been opening up so much that's still there. And I wanted to not speak from my head, but speak from my heart and stand in my truth and be as raw about it as possible. Because I think
That's
that's
the food
why,
train's love language. So let's get to
right.
it.
It's why we created this show. And I was like, so first I thought, oh, I need to show up like Molly and be sad, but I'm not sad. I'm so mad. Like I am so mad that my brain hates my body. It's its biggest bully. And it's like I live in this house with this really critical roommate that's always yelling at me all the time. And it's gotten better, but it's been so slow. And I have reoccurrences all the time of these bad body days. And I've spent so many years at war with my body. And it's not even like my body is the enemy. It's just, I'm such a sensitive person, and the world told me what I needed to be. And so that's how I tried to be. And I think when I think about, already how I was already always told by everyone I was too much, then the idea of being in a body that was too much was terrifying. And it was like I could maybe be a little bit of myself if I was in a smaller body, that maybe I could be my too much self if I was in a smaller body. And, or that's like what I believed. And I had all of this started and it came up because I've just got this sauna and I love a sauna. And what was going on? Why am I not using the sauna? There was so much resistance. And I had actually had a client session where, she was resistant to doing 3 push-ups. And then, so I had her do them in session. And what came up was all this body stuff. And so for me, I was like, oh, this is it. This is my resistance is I don't want to be in that sauna by myself with my body, naked for any amount of time. Another story I've told myself is that I hate baths because they're gross. That's not true. I hate baths because there's nowhere to go but just to be me in body. And, I'm so angry about how this war has taken so much time from me, my chance to like be in my own skin. And if I had, only one wish, it would be to like live my whole life again in this same body without the body noise, because it is the body noise rather than the food noise that has been so destructive to me. The reason my solution to the body noise was alcohol, my solution to the body noise after the car accident was opiates, like the body noise. And then I couldn't even use my solution because I became addicted to it. And it wasn't even about the size of my body. It was just being in my body that created so much pain. And, I think about all of the things that I did for so long, the over exercising, the binging, the purging, the laxative abuse. Like my body and the car accident, like my body is actually amazing from what it's recovered from. But, you know, it's just awful about all the things I've done to it. And the biggest mind F of all is that the thing that I fear the most, eating regularly, eating enough, is now my solution to my alcohol cravings, to that nearly killed me. And also the healing that works for me the most is embodiment and somatic practices. Like it's and I do it now all day with clients, and that is like how have I come to this?
Mm.
So it's just I had so much anger after that episode with Molly because of like how like this what this is doing to my friend and how
Mm.
this is causing her pain, and how in our community it causes so many people in sweet sobriety pain, and they don't even know, like, am I allowed to think that I want to be in a smaller body because it might be healthier for me and it might give me a better quality of life, or am I buying into diet culture? Like it's like the pain that I see in them, just trying to figure that out, and what's the right thing to do.
Yes.
It's just, I'm just done. And it's still so hard, right? It's like I'm done and I can never be done. And I don't think I'll ever be done. I think it will always show up for me. And there's never going to be a time when I will be completely free. And that makes me angry.
Yeah. I think I really hear that. And I think it's such a it's such a well-worn snow groove. I've been doing some studying with like Louise Hay. She is.
Mhm.
She's like the guy, she's like the founder of the self-help movement. But there's something really simple. She said that actually made me like it broke my heart, actually. She was just in some tape I was listening to of her. She was just like, the baby is not born hating its thighs. The
Mhm.
baby is not born thinking it's too much, right? Like we're not born like actually we're born knowing exactly what we need, right? Screaming when we're hungry, whatever. And it made me so sad when I was listening to it. Like it was like, wow, on many days I'm so far from that. And my first thought being like there's a body solution for the feeling I'm having. I'm going to my college reunion and I'm like, do I look okay? That's it. That's like my first thought.
Yeah. Yeah, of
And
course. And how are other people going to look? What are
yeah,
their bodies going
and what you're saying, Clarissa, like, should I do something about
to?
looking better? And it's like what Molly said what Molly said, she's like, God, I can't believe I'm enslaved to this still. It's like it feels like it's in my DNA. It's
Mhm.
really my first thought. I'm going out to dinner. Will my body be acceptable for other people? What should I it just it gets and it spins quickly. I know it's trauma. It spins so quickly I can't catch it. What do you think, wise?
No,
What do you think the wise one has to say, Clara? What do you think, wise one? The prophet
I'm
down.
just, I'm just, I'm just listening. I'm just listening. I mean, I think it's really interesting that it's interesting that Clarissa, your observation of me was sadness. And there was some sadness. I would agree there was sadness, but I would also say that there is anger that, you know, within our culture, within our day-to-day society and societal interactions, that kind of thing, that there are these expectations put on each and every one of us, especially women, to look a certain way, to act a certain way, to sound a certain way, that our hair should be done a certain way, that, whatever it might be. And I think for me, it's a mixture of sadness and anger and wanting to advocate for others and advocating for myself and not self-abandoning and just living in my truth. Like I can't hide from the world. my body. I mean, I could, I guess, if I stayed home, but that's not me. Like I'm a let's go explore, let's go on adventures, whatever kind of person. And so the knowing that there are people that have expectations or beliefs about me that aren't true, the thing that I have to reconcile is that it's none of my business what other people think of me, right?
Hard.
And knowing that what they think of me absolutely influences how my interaction is going to go. Because Molly, I don't know if you've ever run into this, but my interactions with people in a smaller body versus my interactions with the world in a larger body are completely different.
Oh my, that's the worst
Completely different.
part of it.
That's
Is
the
that
worst part, right? Is that it's very
reinforced.
real. It's reinforced. And I was thinking about this. I'm like, you know, men are glorified for dad bods. Men are glorified for this, that, and the other thing, but women are always expected to look young, have perfect little taut bodies. You know, like there are just these expectations that are put on our gender in a way that it's not put upon other bodies. And so it's this really big kind of conversation, right? So we have these personal experiences and we also have these macro experiences as well, and how it all comes together. I'm still trying to figure out, but it is nuanced and it is, you know, individual. And I think anybody who's listening, for me, if you listen to the last episode, you know, I just want people to know that, like Clarissa, like you said, I don't know that I'll ever move past it. My hope is that I will. Like that's my goal, right? My goal is, or my best hopes is that someday the thought of my body and how it's perceived by others will be like the 20th thought or the 200th thought, not the first thought when I'm about to go to a reunion or go on vacation or whatever it might be. And until we get there, or until I get there, I have to have these kind of conversations in safe spaces so that I can figure that out. Because like you said, Molly, like my processing isn't like, I just don't know like that. I can only speak my truth in that moment, but that truth trickles down and percolates and I have more conversations and then it changes. And so I'm so glad that we're revisiting this today, because I imagine your experience, Molly, with your body stuff is different than mine and different than
Yeah.
Clarissa's.
Well, the thing you're saying too, that like just, because I was, 325 pounds and I was so bullied and I was so discriminated against for so many years. And I guess it'll be my turn to cry. It just, it infiltrates my thinking so deeply. And it really, I mean, of course I can override it, whatever, but it's not natural, right? So maybe I think I would pray for neutrality. I don't even know. I mean, I'm a very hopeful person. I believe in miracles, but I would pray for neutrality. And I always remember the story, I had this, like, as the kids would say, situationship with a guy from 8th grade, 13. I just had this unrequited love for him forever and ever and ever and ever. And I remember when I, released the weight and, and I was just really positive that when I released the weight that, we would be riding into the sunset together because, right? And I remember and then I remember we were walking down the street one day and he turned to me and he said, "I'm really worried that we were very good friends, and I had an unrequited love for him." And he looked at me and he said, "I'm really worried you're getting too thin." And I literally thought my head was going to explode because it was like the math, the math. I was like,
It's
but
never good enough. It's never good
right.
enough.
But I'm thin.
Ever.
Why
Yeah.
don't you love me? It didn't
Right.
occur. Like the young part of
Mm-hmm.
me that dialed in, and believe you me, my family system dialed this in. My grandfather, bought me when I was thin. My grandfather would buy me things. I mean, as a behaviorist, like this thing was reinforced in the absolute worst ways possible.
Mm-hmm.
That it didn't occur to me that maybe he just didn't love me like that or whatever it was.
Right.
I remember like another time, it was like, I remember saying to my best friend, like, "But I'm so thin. Why doesn't he?" It's just like, and it's, that's just my truth. We're just here to to tell our dirty
Yeah.
truth. And
But
it's
that's
like,
what we're sold. We are sold that story that if
Right.
you look this way, you're going to have Cinderella a happily ever after. You're going to have these opportunities that you whatever. And this is where I get angry because none of that is true. It's true for a few select people, but there are always exceptions to the rule. And is there really anything super special about those people that it happens to, or did they just get lucky? Did they get lucky in the genetics department? Did they get lucky in the family department? Like,
or like in the meeting, so in the luck department, right? Did they
yeah,
get luck in the soulmate department? Like, but the thing
right.
I think, just to put my professional hat
Yeah,
on for one quick second, which is
totally.
just, which I very rarely do on this show, so I'm proud of myself. It not only does it mess with the body dysmorphia, but boy, does it solidify the eating disorder, right? Because I just think of, I was in a session with someone yesterday, and she's just like, when I don't know what to do, I just think I should lose 15 pounds. She's like, I could be 170 pounds. I need to lose 15 pounds. Be 150 pounds. And it's sort of like when he said, because when he said that to me, I'm scared you're getting too thin, it shattered something so deep inside of me, but not in a positive way, to be honest. It's like I felt more lost than ever,
Mm-hmm.
as it had been so dialed into me since birth, I guess, since I don't
But
know.
at that point, you're being reduced to the size of your body.
It's
Now
crazy
we're
and it's so hard to get
disregarding
out of it.
how smart are you? What important
Yeah.
things do you have to say? What do you contribute to society? What
Out of
kind of,
it.
you know what I mean? Like who are you? Who is your soul?
Makes honest just makes me want to weep. Like I get like, and it's like, and when I'm hearing like Clarissa saying too, it's just I just want to say this to the listener, right? Like getting from here to there is not as easy as we make it sound, right? It's
Mm-mm.
not as easy as anybody,
This
right?
is a huge distance.
The long road from your head to your heart and your soul. You know, I feel like just as a more spiritual person, it's just like I feel like my soul got like contaminated early and it's just like has asthma now or something. Like I don't know. It's really
Yeah.
sad. The whole thing is really sad.
It is really sad. And that's where I just hope that, I hope that our message gets across, or I hope people can hear like, you are more than the size of your body. You are more than the weight on the scale. You are more than those things. And if we really believe that our value is tied directly to those things, I don't know. I mean, it just seems like that noise will get louder. It's like, it's like the whack-a-mole piece. It's like, so no longer is it the alcohol and the pills, Clarissa. Now it's the body, right? Or no longer, Molly, is
Yep.
it the alcohol and the food? It's the body. And so, you know, to know that body serenity is a place that we could get to potentially, or, it could be a goal of ours, but
Well,
does that even, I don't know. I just get so worried about reinforcing this idea that we are only worthy if we fit a certain ideal.
well,
Yeah. I
well,
don't think we have to reinforce it though. I think we just need to talk about the reality of it, that there may be all those things you just said about my body is not my value. Is I might just be someone that may never really fully believe that. And
Yeah.
that's okay.
And that's
And
okay too.
what I want to
yeah.
lean into is that when I am in moments with my favorite people, on vacation, traveling, there are times when I don't have those body thoughts. And that's amazing. And that might be what it is more about, rather than trying to change something or resisting this, right?
Mhm.
I think it's that acceptance piece. Can we get to this acceptance piece rather than say, well, I don't want to have this problem, or I don't want that to be my thing, and just saying, oh, okay, what if it is my thing? And like, how can I still like nurture myself, but not expect myself to get to this place where, the body thoughts stop. Um,
There's this
Mhm.
beautiful, because I also want to say to the listener, like, you're not alone. Like your food shrinks feel this way too. And there's this
Mhm.
beautiful meditation practice, Buddhist meditation practice called Tonglen. Do you guys know about it?
Mhm.
It's beautiful. And it's sort of like when you're feeling this way, you sort of breathe in that there are other people feeling this way too. And you
mm,
send out compassion of your own and for every, it's sort of like that. This podcast today felt like Tom Glenn, right? Like I struggle with it, and my lovies Clarissa, we all struggle with it, and we're together in it, and it's not bad, and it's not, it's like it's okay, right? We're working towards it. There's harder days, there's easier days, but it just reminded me of that meditation. Anyway, we love you guys. We're just here to be as real as we can be.
Totally. Be sure to email us, asktheshrinks@foodshrinks.com if you want to hear more, you have anything that you want to comment on, or you have questions you want us to answer. We're here. Thanks for listening to Food Shrinks. Quick reminder, this podcast isn't a substitute for professional medical advice. Always consult your healthcare provider for guidance suited to your needs. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to help us reach others on the recovery journey. Take care, and remember, freedom with food is possible. See you next time.